I know it's only Monday, but the truth be told, I'm not at liberty to take things for granted, so I'm either going to get this video in now, or I stand a chance of not being able to get it in at all. When I tell you that I live in the swamps of southeast Texas, I mean I live in the swamps of southeast Texas. Right now, it's in the low 90s. It's actually cool for this time of year. To give you an example of what I'm talking about, this picture was taken with my camera phone less than 30 minutes away from my house. Currently, my neck of the woods is being threatened by a tropical system that promises to turn into either tropical storm or perhaps even Hurricane Cindy. The problem is that the current projected path of the storm is going to carry it up into southwest Louisiana, which is basically right across the river from me. However, the level of confidence because of the organization of the storm is very low, so that means either we may dodge the bullet entirely, or we could be hit with as much as a foot of rain. Either way, I need to get this video in, because not to is to simply court the devil. So, on to the topic at hand. And it involves a simple question. How do you love the unlovable? How do you minister to those whose lives are such that they openly and actively defy anything and everything that you try to bring to them? How do you love someone who tells you to your face that they're going to rape your wife, and then begins demonstrating exactly how they're going to do it? Not easy. But, again, I'm not at liberty to not. Between August 2004 and August 2009, I worked at the Al Price State Juvenile Correctional Facility in Beaumont, Texas. This was the juvenile prison that basically had all of the students who had found themselves in serious trouble with the law, were incarcerated, being drawn from as far away as New Orleans, whom we called our Katrina babies, all the way into Houston and even up into Dallas and Amarillo. Our specialization was in sexual predators. In other words, my students included those who were my students, so to speak, because they were involved in the gang rape of a 2-year-old girl. Oh, by the way, I need to point out right here that I taught math. I was once asked, Mr. Bordash, where do you think the worst student you ever taught is right now? Wrong question to the wrong person. I know where he's at. When he aged out of the system at Al Price, he was sent over to the adult prison, where he was promptly released. Unfortunately, he was profoundly psychopathic, which meant, in his case, no comprehension whatsoever of cause and effect. He went right back into the drug trade, which is what got him in prison to begin with, as if he had never been in prison at all. Drug deal went bad, shots were fired, people were killed. Yes, I know where he's at right now. Death row. But not all was hopeless. I had another young man, the best student I ever had the privilege of teaching. The reason why he was my student was because he walked into a liquor store and stuck a gun into the face of the clerk. Turns out the clerk knew him, and at his trial went to bat for him. So the judge said, fine, you're 16 years old. You'll age out at the age of 19. You're going to come right before me at that time and prove to me that you're salvageable. If you do, I will adjudicate your records. I'll adjudicate your sentence. You'll be released. You'll be able to go on with your life. If not, you're going what we like to call across the street to the adult penitentiary, 40 years for armed robbery. Quite a motivation, because he became the first person in his family to earn a high school diploma, not a GED, which he did also, yes, but he was the first person to actually earn a high school diploma, a sheepskin. Being a vocational program only required 22 hours, and the 22nd hour that secured, that is to say guaranteed, his high school diploma was Algebra 2. I'll let you figure out who his math teacher was. Yes, I am rather proud. Currently, I work with at-risk youth at the Jefferson County Youth Academy, which is situated right behind the Mimi Rogers Juvenile Detention Center. I still teach math. But what I'm really trying to do is keep these young people from actually winding up incarcerated. The youth I currently work with are in trouble for school-related offenses ranging from drug possession to assault and battery of a school teacher. And they're not sweethearts. None of these kids are in jail because they sang too loud in the church choir. But nevertheless, they are in trouble. And with any kind of luck, I should have no worries that they will be incarcerated. Unfortunately, our success rate is not 100%. Earlier this year, a young man who, quite frankly, is rather brilliant, able to pick up on ideas rather quickly, even math. He decided to go joyriding with a friend of his, and when the cops pulled him over, he came out swinging. Well, he's back in my classroom. I guess anybody deserves a second chance. With any kind of luck, he'll take advantage of that second chance, because he really has no idea, at least like I do. So, the question comes back. How do you love the unlovable? How do you love someone who doesn't want to be loved? How do you bring the light of Christ into their lives? I'm reminded of something Jesus once said. It is better to light a single candle than to curse the darkness. Let me put it to you this way. The candle burns brightest when it is absolutely pitch black dark. Oh my gosh, how wonderful a flame. Just like a young man who decided to put his life back in order. I don't succeed often, but when I do succeed, it is beyond belief.